What is up, everybody? Welcome into the off season. No Hunter this week. He is on vacation. So Silas joining us in the third spot today.
I feel so
alongside
honored.
Brodie.
Feel so
Yeah,
honored
well,
today.
you know, it's time. We needed to have a third presence on the show, and so it's just a natural progression. We're gonna run through a pretty fun show today. We've got a couple things to talk about. We're gonna do a new silhouette form game today. I'm pretty excited about. We're going to do that. We're also going to do a little tier list. It's going to be a good time. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we can do the show justice in the absence of Hunter. Before we get into that, I'm going to thank the sponsor of today's show, which is Manscaped. Hey, everyone, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all those festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at the Family of Dinner award, very illustrious, check out Manscaped's latest masterpiece, the Chairman Pro Package. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave. You can head over to Manscaped and join the over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code DebateNight for 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. Let's dive into the goods here. The Chairman Pro is armed with not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil is for when you want to keep that baby's bottom smooth finish, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer is for when you want to keep some stubble but clean it up a bit. Both keep you looking sharp while minimizing razor burn and irritation, because no one wants to show up to the holiday party looking like they lost a fight with a Christmas tree. But wait, there is more. The Chairman Pro has Flex Adjust technology, which is basically like the holiday miracle of shaving. It allows the blade heads to pivot seamlessly to the unique contours of your face. And this thing's got up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, so you'll have plenty of juice to go from Santa's beard to smooth as a snow angel. So you can get the Chairman Pro package and everything else from Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and using code DebateNight for 20% off plus free shipping. That's manscaped.com, code DebateNight to get yourself 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped. Thanks to them for sponsoring the show. Let's hop into it. So first thing I'm going to talk about, and Brodie, I don't know if you've been in the know, but my putter bracket for next year started.
Yeah, I saw that.
It started in full swing.
Are you going to juice the numbers like you did in previous years?
I don't even understand why you would throw a false allegation out there like that. What are you talking about?
Man of the people, this is what people are telling me.
Are you saying Trevor rigged it?
How could I possibly do that?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what people have told me.
He's got Twitter bots.
There's conspiracy theories that there is funny business happening.
No, there's no funny business. I absolutely, well, let me be clear. The one thing that people, well, at least Hunter will jokingly say, is that I rig the starting putters, and that's absolutely right. The starting 16 putters are chosen by me. Never denied that. From that point on, I don't root for anybody. It's just whatever happens. And listen, your Roach won in the first round. It's fighting a battle in round 2 right now. So you might need to.
I'm not going to rig any numbers. I'm not a poll rigger.
It's not rigging. If somebody campaigns, is that rigging? That's just campaigning.
That's not cheating at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like this is something that's actually like meaningful, right? Me trying to make Dash's track the #1 rated course in the world, that means nothing. You having a putt with a certain...
To you, yeah.
That is true. There's probably a lot of people that actually would be...
You got one of those European courses like, dang, man,
those people get pissed. Yeah. All right, maybe I will rig it. We'll see.
Well, we're in round 2 right now. We've made it to the Elite 8. And what I've noticed so far is the Innova fans have showed up in numbers.
What Innova did you have? AVR?
I had the AVR in there, which won a very close one in round 1, but also the Firefly that Sexton putts with, and that's been doing pretty well. But
I think he throws that. I don't think he putts with it.
He putts them. He's got like his own plastic blend with him. Oh. Yeah. The interesting thing that I always like to watch with this, and it's kind of the reason I brought it up, is it's a really interesting way to gauge the climate of like where the fans are at, because usually in these things, when I do this is like the third year I've done it. The discs that end up doing the best are just the ones that have obviously the most fans around that manufacturer. For instance, MVP last year made it to the finals, and then I think they just got voted against because people were sick of them. But this year also looking very good. Like you can kind of get a read on where the fandom's at. And I don't think it's changed a lot.
While you guys are watching this, because we're filming this we're filming this on Tuesday. I actually just got off an interview, which you guys can listen to on Tour Life if you haven't already, with Ezra Robinson. And one of the things we talked about a lot was the fact that I think disc golf should actually, like the pro scene, should actually go more in on the manufacturer side of things. Because right now, if you ask right now, what's a big rivalry in disc golf? Like players. Like who's really going to get you going if these two guys are leading with going into Sunday? Are you going to be like, this is must see TV?
Yeah, there's nothing much there.
Where, we just had rivalry week in college football. I mean, there was
five fights.
4. Yeah, right.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So there really isn't this like, I freaking love this guy. No, this guy sucks. There's not really that much of that. There's a couple players that get people going, but manufacturers, that really gets people going. So what if we did
it gets the fans going, but which
is the most important part, Trevor. Those are the people that are tuning in.
They are the ones buying the plastic.
What I guess
I'm asking is how do they lean into it? Like associate the manufacturers more heavily with the players?
So what I would do, the way I would run it is I would have every like, this is in a perfect world, right? You'd have because right now I don't think you have outside money big enough, but you could do something where you have every manufacturer throw in a certain amount of money, right? So let's say they each throw $1 million into the pot. And then Disc Golf Network, Disc Golf Pro Tour gets a sponsor for this thing for like another, let's say $1 million. Again, this is all hypothetical, but I'm just using big numbers. So now you have a pot of like $10 million. At the end of the year, the winning team gets $7 million, second place gets $2 million, third place gets $1 million. That money goes to that team. A portion of that goes to the actual manufacturer. So like, for example, if Innova won, they put $1 million in, they're taking home $7 million. They maybe keep $5 and they keep $4 or whatever, and they give the other to the players. And then the players is like set up like a high school cross country team. You throw 7 people in the field, your top 5 finishers get you points. And then you still have an individual thing. There's still going to be a major champion. You're still going to be someone that wins the world title. There's still going to be all of that stuff. But now you're going to have something where you actually are on a team and you actually are rooting for your teammates because you can win the championship at the end and win a lot of money.
This is like the college/high school golf format is what you're describing, basically.
Similar, yeah, very similar to cross. Yeah, those are all very similar. Of where you have
like
a team,
racing or something.
Yep. I mean, heck, you could even mess around, have some events do like doubles in some events.
Yeah. I guess the biggest question would be if you go that route, do you have to implement salary caps? Like, do you have to try to create parity, or
I think you go F1. I think you go F1, and the biggest spenders get the biggest.
Well, right. That's like, it's kind of like the soccer model too,
baseball,
right?
Soccer,
baseball, yeah.
Well, I think you don't cap it, and so
here's what you cap it, but you just add in a luxury tax like the NBA and just rake in the money.
But I think that
soft cap.
To me, I think you're going to have more people tuning in to see if Innova is going to beat Discraft versus if Ricky's going to beat Gannon, because you're still going to have Ricky and Gannon play. Yeah, but now there's actually something behind it that fans can get behind.
I can't lie to you. Like 2 years ago, I would have scoffed at that, and you probably would have too, honestly. But I've gotten to the point as well where I'm so hungry for drama and intrigue that like you talking about that just then got me a little excited. Like I was like, because I think I already was thinking in my brain, which team would I support? Mm-hmm. And like, There's something
there's some division
beautiful
there.
There's something beautiful about, like, I support Team Discraft, for example. So whoever is on Team Discraft, that's my team. If we trade a guy or he goes somewhere else, I no longer care about that person. Like, it is like really easy to root for a team. It would be very different.
And then the other thing too that this would bring is it would also bring players to not be so buddy with everyone, right? Because now there would actually be some divide between these teams. Like, I'm sure you would still have people that are friendly to one another, but now it's like, bro, these are my boys. I'm running with my boys. I'm going to try to beat you for millions. Again, having a lot of money definitely helps, but you could also like start talking about, I don't want to throw Prodigy under the bus, but 10 years from now, you could be like, Prodigy's never won.
Hey man, like geographically, I think Prodigy would be my home team, so you better back off.
But I think this would bring a lot of intrigue, and it also would kind of finish the circle that's been clearly unfinished of where all these manufacturers are trying to convince you that this is a team. This is a team. There is no team aspect of it. There's no benefit of it. And this would actually make it to where now everything actually coincides. I think it would be beautiful.
Yeah, I think another interesting thing too would be like, okay, figuring out how many athletes can one team have. Like, if Discraft is able to get 20 athletes into the field and Mint can only get 4, which is like how many scores you need. Is that like just how it works? Like, is it another one of those things where it's like, hey, Discraft has better players? They just have because like obviously that would create a lot of imbalance regardless of the player's skill. If one team has 4 people count out of 20 versus one has literally 4 and that's their only chance.
Am I crazy to say too? I wouldn't mind seeing smaller fields. Like if we're sticking with this 4-person. I mean, even if we go to like a 3-person or a 2-person grouping, like a smaller field, I don't hate that either in this format.
Like how many? How small are we talking?
Well, how many manufacturers are there? 10, 12?
I would say you'd probably be able to, like, realistically, the manufacturers that could field teams would be at this moment, obviously Innova, Discraft, Discmania, MVP but MVP like just barely.
They would be able to though if they shifted to this
push
format,
came to shove. That's true.
They could pick people up.
Yeah, that's valid. Like if it became something where, because right now
there's no reason right now for MVP to pick up a player.
Right. But if the team structure started tomorrow, they'd be like, Andrew Presnell is available.
Correct.
Let's grab him. Right. Yes, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
That's the other, because I was going to say, that's the other thing that could actually help, right? Is because right now you look at like MVP, they've got Eagle and Simon. If they add another person, it doesn't really do anything for them.
Yeah.
Like it's diminishing returns at that point. It really is. Yeah. Right. And so if you did this team aspect, you can't just have Eagle and Simon. You got to have 5 other dudes.
Yeah. I got James.
And okay.
Yeah. Don't forget.
You see what I'm saying? You got to have enough people, and you can't just say, hey, we're going to have 2 really good guys. It doesn't matter what these other people do, because you're going to get smoked by an Innova, by a Discmania, by a Discraft. Like you have to try to field the best team possible. And I think that would actually be good, because right now, if you're the 5th best player, 6th best player, 7th best player on a manufacturer, no one gives a rip.
So right now, I think Discraft would be like the Detroit Lions, just so deep, so talented all the way.
Yeah, someone
through.
Gets injured, you could literally plug and play someone else in.
Wow.
I don't know. I think again, I'm an outsider coming into disc golf. I grew up watching team sports. I played team sports. Coming in, everyone telling me disc golf, team this, team this, team. I'm like, no, it's an individual sport. Why don't we just everyone? It's not going to go away, right? When the NFL season goes in the off season, right? Let's just all talk about that real quick, because that's the biggest sport in America. When NFL season goes in the offseason, you know what we don't talk about? Is Joe Burrow going to keep his sponsorship with Gatorade? Is Is Patrick Mahomes still going to keep his sponsorship with Nike? No one talks about that.
Right.
But in disc golf, that's all we talk about in the offseason.
It's all we have to talk about.
So let's all go in on it. Let's just flip freaking, because that's what I'm saying. Initially, when I came in, I was butting heads and I was trying to say, stop. This doesn't matter. Stop talking about it. But like, it's not going to go away. That's all people care about. So we need to go all in on it. And I think that actually makes it a lot more interesting to watch the actual tournaments.
Let's call it the Super League. What is that? The soccer one they tried to make?
I don't know.
XFL. I've honestly been in this thing long enough now that just sounds very intriguing. I'm going to go ahead and say right now that if it were to start tomorrow, before any players move around, I'm just trying to think where my allegiance would be. Like, what would be the fun team to root on? Like,
also, on the business side of things, you got to think about this. That right then and there, that literally eliminates sponsored tournaments, like the Discraft sponsoring a tournament, this person sponsoring a tournament, because every team is going to want to be present at that tournament. And then also now think about the merch. Think about the merch from the team side of things.
All the players are wearing matching jerseys.
Yeah, and now or like jerseys that are somewhat matching but have their own flavor a little bit, like,
oh man.
Like, you show up to a tournament right now, sure, you're going to see some Paul Macbeth stuff, sir, you're going to see some AB stuff here and there, but now, like, imagine now showing up to a tournament and you see a bunch of Innova, a bunch of Discraft, a bunch of like, I don't know, to me that sounds like it could be something.
Could be.
But then how do you get the manufacturers to get on board with that? There's like the money in it.
They all have to look at it and say, this is the direction that we want the professional scene to go.
That's going to be so hard to do to get all the manufacturers on board. It would not be that hard size.
It wouldn't be a hard sell because you're telling them, hey, let's take this pro tour and make it all about you guys.
It would not, as I'm saying, it would not be a hard sell if you actually looked at it and could look and think that this would make disc golf more appealing. Because now,
I just realized we're describing live golf.
Yeah, which honestly, a lot of people, Trevor, unfortunately, actually watch live golf.
We've been talking about live golf for half an hour.
And again, like,
the high flyers.
To me, again, it's all about the roots of the sport. When you start playing golf, no one throws a club in your hand and says, Callaway, this is the best pitching wedge. You got to use Callaway. No one does that. And the marketing,
They just say, here's a pitching wedge. Yeah.
You just get a club. You probably don't even, when you first get your club, you probably don't even know what club it is. You just know it's a pitching, it's a pitching wedge.
Oh, that's what I did in disc golf.
Yeah, I mean, people here's a driver. Some people do that in disc golf.
Here's a putter.
I know, but now
you are more inclined to pick a disc based on the way it looks rather than what it is.
But Silas, hear me out. How quickly were you to start looking into the different manufacturers and what discs and all that stuff to get?
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, and also, okay. What do you think about Prodigy? If I said Prodigy, what would be your first thoughts?
It was my first driver. Hunter gave to me.
Okay. What about Innova?
Innova.
Like, when I say these names, when I say these names, what feelings? Like, tell me your feelings. Innova.
Your feelings.
DX Plastic. That's what comes to my mind. I don't know why. Discraft. Paul Macbeth.
Okay. Maybe Silas is the perfect person to use an example for this. All I'm saying is you have a lot. The only time I really saw this in golf was with PXG. When PXG came out and they did their marketing, and their marketing was heavily for, we're super expensive, we're for rich people. If you have our clubs, you're really wealthy. And we have the best clubs.
There's not a company in disc golf that's like that.
No, but I'm saying when you show up to play when I show up to play golf, right? A lot of times a lot of people aren't really asking, like, what clubs do you have? That's not a normal thing to ask. If someone hits a shot, you ask what club did you hit? And they would tell you a 5-iron. They wouldn't tell you, I hit my Callaway, blah, 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 5-iron.
Yeah, after a shot, yeah.
In disc golf, like I just think of disc golf,
I think it's because the discs can
interested.
do so much more different things than a golf ball or a golf club can.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's not like a problem. It's just part of the game. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying, Silas. What I'm saying is we're kind of describing live golf, but like live golf doesn't have this like cult following with their sponsored clubs, where disc golf has a cult following of their sponsored club or disc.
It's pretty unique. Like I don't think anything else is like
Formula One.
Yeah,
cars.
I guess. Yeah, cars. Yeah, it's cars.
Like
because there are people in NASCAR even that be like, oh, I only root for the Chevy cars.
Yeah, car. Some people say Mercedes is great. Other people think BMW is great. Right? You don't really have that many people saying Nike is so much better than Under Armour or Reebok. You know what I'm saying?
Not when it pertains to athletes, no.
No, like it's not. It's
much more neat.
So I don't know. I know I kind of just derailed this podcast.
No, that was.
And I apologize.
No, I think that was a very interesting proposal.
But I don't think it would be that hard, Silas, to convince people if you could tell them, listen, this would get way more people interested into watching the pro scene if we went this route.
If you had data to back it up. Like
the hardest people to convince would be the players, but if you convince them that their value would increase because now they're more of a necessity in bulk, then I think they could be convinced.
Because like, what's in it for the company? Money.
Which
right?
one?
All the companies, the manufacturers. Sorry.
Yes. The hardest for people to convince would be the network, probably like the tour. You'd have to convince them just based on
that this is a better product.
This will translate, because like for the companies, it's like a duh. We're going to get all this free advertising. For the players, I think you could be like, hey, you are now more of a necessity. Now, maybe the top of the top player is like, that doesn't do me any good. Like I'd rather just dominate the current format. And
but if you say this is what the direction we're going, what choice do they have? There's not going to play, and everyone else is going to play.
They're at the bottom of the food chain for sure.
Like
a new tour.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like I just don't really see disc golf having like the personalities and really the way that it's currently structured. A lot of these guys can't even really come out and say what they want to say. And now all of a sudden, if you created this format of where it's like this team versus this team, I think we would get a lot more interesting sound bites from pros.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what that'd create. I don't really see a hypothetical like downside in the product, because like you said, like you could still play it exactly the way it's played. You're just adding in a team scoring format and setting a prize for that.
Here's the other thing. Think about leading into a tournament. How boring are these press conferences? Extremely boring. How more exciting would they be if you found out that someone is injured and so they're dropping them out of their top 7 and they're adding this guy in? How important would it be now you're talking to, hey, Trevor, your number one player on your team hasn't been producing the last couple of events. You've been pulling up the slack. How does that feel going into this? There's so much more to talk about between the two instead of, I don't know, hey, Innova, you've been getting smoked all year by this thing. What are you guys going to do? I don't know. I could be completely wrong. People in the comments might be like, this is the stupidest idea. Don't do it. But then again, look what everyone talks about in the offseason. Look what everyone talks about as the biggest news. The biggest news in disc golf is when a player leaves one manufacturer and goes to another. That is the biggest news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
no, I think all that sounds very interesting. I don't know. Be curious to know if anybody has like thought that direction, but I doubt it. Okay.
You don't think the PGA is whipping this up?
No.
On their 6-figure salaries?
Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. Let's try out this silhouettes game. So we kind of had this idea the other week, but basically I don't know these pros. Silas has taken screenshots of players' form.
Okay.
And he has silhouetted the players so that all we can see is kind of the the outline or whatever, and then Brodie and I are going to try and do our best to guess. So,
do you want to go like team? Do you want to go like team on this? Since we've been talking about teams.
Yeah, we can. I think we can try to come to a conclusion.
Okay.
All right. Here's your first one.
Oh,
Garrett Gurthie.
Yeah, that's got to be Garrett Gurthie. The hat and that arm. Yeah, that's got to be.
That was quick.
That's probably the easiest
one. That's probably the easiest one.
I'll say that's a very signature looking form.
Size also really well done with the silhouette. That's actually impressive.
Oh. He's very nice with it.
Photoshop.
That was easy.
This is the next
one.
one.
Now we're getting Okay, so looks like a ponytail, right? Or am I crazy? No, yes. Like, right? Like that has to be like long hair or ponytail situation.
Yeah. I was thinking it could be like a weird hat, but I think I'm going more on your side of where ponytail. Okay.
This went from easy to like so hard.
We got to go female here.
No, there's no FPO. This is only MPO.
This is a guy?
This is only MPO, yeah. I didn't want to throw you off that much.
Okay.
Well,
first thing I saw, first thing I thought of when I saw it was Nico. Second one that came to mind was Nicholas. But that is taking away the head. The head is throwing me off.
Quick, it could be Nico because
that's what I'm saying. Doesn't he wear like a weird hat? And I think he has a
ponytail.
He had long hair at one point. How recent are these photos? Do we just go with Nico? Because I mean, other than that, we're just guessing.
I mean, I can tell you how recent all of them are if you want.
Sure.
They're all from this year.
Okay. I don't think
this season.
Long hair this
past
year?
season.
He did.
Should we just go with Nico? Because I don't.
All right. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right.
Oh, duh.
Alden Harris.
Oh my gosh, we should have known that.
With the man bun.
Yeah, that was like
that was throwing me way off.
Alden wasn't enough on the radar this year. Like he didn't pop into my head. Dang it! Why didn't I think of that?
All right, here's the next one.
Shoot, we should have got that. Oh, that's
Matty O.
That's got to be Matty O. Yeah, that's Matty O.
That's Matty O.
All day long, Matty O.
Get wrecked.
Wait, I thought that was. Wait, Saz, go back. I thought that was going in the other direction. Kind of.
I just didn't realize that he pulled from that high.
I mean,
that's deceiving because you don't have the depth perception.
He pulls high to low. He's probably the best player.
He does do that.
Pulling high to low.
Oh my gosh!
I thought that was going to be a pretty easy one.
Oh my gosh!
It's kind of tough
that's
because the hair.
Okay, I'll tell you where they're throwing from if you want for the next one. I don't know what the next one is. Here we go.
Well, I think we can see this one.
I mean, that's pretty clear.
What? Nate Dawes just off the dome like that? The guy's played like one event.
He doesn't
barely ever throw forehand.
He doesn't throw forehand.
Yeah, that was crazy. Nate Dawes. Not a lot of guys even wear the forward facing hat, you know? A lot of guys go no hat. And he looks like he's not lanky unless the shirt hanging off is just
here's the thing I'm starting to learn. Yeah, Silas is kind of on some of these, he's definitely smoothing them out. Like I wouldn't be shocked if this was Simon. But Simon's more upright. No, Simon's more upright.
That's not a bad guess though.
The head looks like Simon, but Simon throws forehand standing almost straight up.
No, I think it is Simon.
Do you?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
All right, we'll go Simon.
Kevin Jones. Oh, low to the ground.
He's so low to the ground.
You're right.
Yeah. All right, here's a.
Sorry, we're starting so good in this.
We've got like four more.
See how that shirt makes it look like he's like way bigger than he actually is?
No, it does.
That's the part that makes it challenging.
All right, here's the next one.
Low to the ground we should have gone with there.
Oh my gosh.
See, that almost looks like Clemens.
That's Ezra.
Oh, it totally is.
That's Ezra.
It totally is.
That was good. That was good. That was a pretty tough one.
All right.
Yeah, he
we're
is very
locking in.
upright. We're
very
locking
upright
in
here. We're locking in.
All right, here we go.
Paul. Oh, it's Paul. Yeah, that was easy.
Okay. Pretty easy one. All right, 2 more.
Oh, that's James Proctor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the only one that does that.
Some would say I know ball.
He does know ball right now.
Well, we'll see if you know this last one.
I'm glad you didn't do FPO though, because I don't watch FPO. Oh, that's Vino.
Vino?
Yeah, 100%. I found the game that I'm really good at, I think, Trevor.
I don't know. All right, I'll agree with you because you're very confident.
Savings on it.
Oh
yeah!
Wow, I thought he was facing a different direction.
that Brodie's good at this. What in the world?
It's almost like I play with a lot of these guys.
That pool was pretty good. I was perceiving his one arm as a follow through. I did not even realize he was facing that direction.
That game is electric.
All right, bro, we might have to bring that back then, and I'll put some tougher ones in or something.
That game's
sure. I didn't think y'all would get those, to be honest. So
I knew that Brodie would be our best chance because since he sees them in person way more. Okay, I had a topic somebody submitted I wanted to bring up here. So here's what was written. So I've been browsing TV a lot this week over the holiday, and I'm shocked by what is on ESPN these days. I've seen fling golf, pillow fight championships, knife and axe throwing, and a few other super random niche sports on ESPN2 or ESPN News. What is disc golf missing or doing wrong that we are not on ESPN to get that exposure to the non-disc golfer sports fan? Are these other sports paying to be on ESPN? And is the Disc Golf Pro Tour not willing to pay? I know there's been specials, but those are specific edits for a 1-hour slot, not the live sport. It's the age-old question that has one answer.
They were showing live fling golf?
That's what he said.
What is fling golf?
I mean, these days, if you're on ESPN News at 11 o'clock at night, there's no telling what they're trying to air because they can't just run Sports Center over and over again the way they used to. Nobody cares.
This is on Watch ESPN.
He said ESPN2 or ESPN News.
No, fling golf I'm talking about is on Watch ESPN.
What the heck is fling golf?
It's where they throw the golf ball.
Watch the Fling Golf All-Star Skills Challenge live stream from ESPN2 on Watch ESPN. Yeah, so these all seem like they're on Watch ESPN. They're not actually on. No, ESPN2. This might actually be on.
No, this actually happened.
Because
initially they went live on ESPN. That's actually a golf too.
As I was going to say, initially my response would be something like cornhole. Very easy to set up, very easy to film, very easy to broadcast. So that has a massive advantage over disc golf. But fling golf is
fling golf must have money.
Fling golf is literally disc golf. Just they're now throwing a golf ball instead of a disc.
Is their broadcast
can't even imagine
super good or something?
Wanting to watch
I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to click on it to try to see.
I would watch fling golf. Yeah, I mean, for it to air live on ESPN2, it had to look decent. There might be money in fling golf because here's the thing about fling golf is you get guys that you get potentially wealthy guys who love the idea of golf but just can't figure it out, and they love that they can just throw the ball right down the middle. They love it. 100-yard approach, not a problem. Center of the green.
I don't know. I also remember way back in the day, late one night or it was a weird time of day and also a weird channel. I can't remember what channel it was, but I remember watching disc golf and it was in a crazy mountainous course. And it was so cool to watch. And this was before I even knew what ultimate frisbee was. This was I want to say this was high school, middle school. So this was before I knew anything about a frisbee. I didn't start throwing frisbees seriously or knew anything about it until basically my senior year in high school. And it was so sick. So I think this is kind of where it goes back to, if you watch like the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, really boring. Like the way it looks, just really boring. Where this, from an outsider, like these guys were throwing down, I think they were playing like at like a ski resort, but it wasn't, obviously there wasn't snow on the ground. And it was so cool to see. Probably similar to like how D-Glow looks to like an average viewer. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if I actually don't know the answer. All I know is like there's not enough eyeballs watching live. So
Fling golf was invented in the 1980s, it says.
Well, sometimes
it hasn't been around for that long.
Like if you mentioned like the pillow fight championships and the knife throwing, what ESPN tries to do is when you're scrolling through on the guide, they want to grab your attention because they want to show you something you've never even heard of or would think would be on TV. So actually, as disc golf gets more popular and people know what it is, they might be less likely to click on it because like, oh, I know what disc golf is. And they might be less surprised to see it. Whereas if you see fling golf on your guide, you got to click on that and tune in for a few minutes because what the heck is that?
Yeah, I'm clicking on it.
So like maybe disc golf isn't niche enough. We just need to rename the sport. We've got to go in disguise.
Like
extreme
golf.
Disc golf.
Like this, I wonder if Fling Golf even has like their own broadcast network and stuff like that.
No shot, right?
Well, then how's it getting on
research into
ESPN?
These sports? We got to know what they're doing.
How are they getting?
Silas, you're going to be our Fling Golf insider correspondent, and we need to know everything there is to know about Fling Golf.
I'll do it.
The thing that's crazy about Fling Golf, though, is like I'm looking at this stuff. They don't have a lot of followers.
No, they can't. These people like golf. Imagine your barrier to entry being if somebody shows up to play Fling Golf and then they see somebody else playing actual golf, they're gonna be like, that looks better.
Yeah,
I mean, okay. Look at this.
That's a tough one.
I did.
I mean, it's just people. It's just people throwing.
I mean,
well, so here's the
it's
thing.
like lacrosse golf.
I first was introduced to Fling Golf down at the Orlando big convention that they do for golf every year, where they have all this stuff. And this, Trevor, if you've never been to this place, you got to go. They basically have the biggest driving range, but it's in a circle. So everyone's hitting into the middle.
I've heard of that.
And you just walk around and there's all this stuff. So they were set up. It was so much fun just chucking this thing as far as you could. I got in contact with them. We ended up doing a promotional video for them on YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. I've never played it since. That's where.
Here's where I lose interest in Fling Golf. Go ahead and take a guess at what the Fling Golf distance record is set in 2019.
It can't be far. I'm going to say
the yards or feet?
500 feet. Wait, is it landing or with roll?
This would be in yards.
Is it landing or roll, do you think? Based off the number.
I could believe it's landing. I could believe it.
So I'm going to say like 150 yards.
Okay.
150 yards.
How far does somebody hit
what was
it? Pitching wedge?
A pitching wedge goes about 140, 150.
So I'm going to go
140. Pitching wedge goes about
205 yards.
7 iron.
It's 252 yards.
That's the world record for Fling Golf?
Yeah.
That's really far, Trevor.
Yeah, it's far considering what they're doing, but like knowing that that's the record. So like if I showed up to play Fling Golf, I'm probably not even throwing it 200 yards.
No,
that just doesn't excite me.
Okay.
And just knowing that I could see a guy with the driver over there hitting it 3 times as far.
Respectfully,
I mean, that's kind of the same thing as saying like
I'm just playing normal golf.
I'm just playing normal golf. Bat. Yeah, I don't.
If I see Fling Golf, you're on a golf course already. You might as well just swing the club.
To answer this guy's question, I'm with Trevor. They're better off having super weird, obscure events because that is definitely going like pillow fighting competition. You're definitely gonna get people to be like, "What the heck is that?" But I don't know why disc golf isn't an option. I don't. I will say this too. The funny thing also is they had for one disc golf thing, I think it might have been on CBS. The photo that they were using on like the guide was an ultimate frisbee photo.
That's funny.
That's funny
For disc golf. So
I mean, yeah. Okay, we're going to do a tier list now. So Brodie had the idea of doing disc golf names, disc names tier list. Obviously, there's like a million disc names. So I thought we would break it down to disc naming schemes.
Ooh,
now,
I like that.
Obviously, Brodie won't know all of them. So I'll give you examples from companies you don't know. But we're going to rate each company's disc naming scheme or just their overarching portfolio. Because like some companies have a pretty specific pattern, whereas others like Innova at this point, they've gone everywhere from animals to cars to machines.
And we can break down also like individual ones too. So like Paul's disc naming theme is different.
We'd have to add. We could discuss them.
Okay.
We can go over that
honorable
as
mentions.
well.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah. Because we have a tier.
Okay, so you have the list
that we can throw on the screen.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
so we'll start with Clash. Where does Clash? Brodie, do you know what Clash?
No, I'm going to need Trevor to have to tell me what's going on. Oh wait, no,
Clash
that's like the soda pop.
Yeah.
Yes. So Clash is all food and edible related. So I'm going to run through a few names because I know like all there is. They've got the soda, the candy, the popcorn, the ginger, the salt, the spice. So they have like some seasonings as well. They got the wild honey. They've got the cookie. Very food themed. What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that?
I would say like on paper, if you just told me, hey, we're going to go like concessions, names of concession items. I would be like,
I wouldn't say concession items.
Some of them are snack items, snack foods. I would say
they've also got the mint.
I would say that's probably
cherry, the mango.
I would say it's a C idea, but when you actually see them on disc, I think it's actually more closer to a B.
I think it's pretty. I really like the naming scheme, so I would sit B. I'm okay with it being B because I agree. It's like maybe to a certain audience, it's not going to get them super jazzed up because it is like, they do better on individual. So like if you just told me like they have a wild honey, I think that's cool. But when you start listing them off, it sounds worse. They sound better when it's just on like the soda. Yeah. I'm throwing my soda. That sounds cool. But if you say soda after popcorn and then say mango after soda, mango's another one.
It doesn't sound as cool. So it's more cooler on the individual level.
I think there's better out there, but I think it's a good one.
Okay. So what is that? We got
next
Discraft.
Is Discraft. Yeah.
Discraft. So Discraft has obviously like kind of like inner themes, but as a whole, they've kind of been all over the place. I don't know, Brodie. What do you think?
I think their biggest one is their insects, right?
Yeah, cicada, mantis, the buzzes,
wasp, swarm.
I would say because you have them.
I think that's the biggest one.
You have like stalker, predator, vulture, like some like weird ones there. But then obviously you get onto some ones that relate nothing at all, like the Force or the Challenger,
Crank,
but they also have they have the Nuke, which is like a great one.
But that doesn't have a family. Crank doesn't have a family. Avenger doesn't have a family.
Right. So yeah, I think with like a company like Discraft, you have to almost ignore the theme because they don't really have one overarching one. You have to almost just consider as a whole, do you feel like what are their disc names? Like what level do you feel like they're on? I
think they're below Clash.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. They have some like I feel like the Zone, the Raptor,
as
they
far
came
as
out
like
with
the names,
Venom
the names
recently.
are good, but they don't have a family. They're just like,
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
guess
you've been around as long as they have. Like, I think it's actually smarter to not narrow yourself in.
Are we going based off of the family, or are you just going off of the names of the discs?
No, I think you go off of just the names as a whole.
Oh,
Yeah.
names are better then.
Yeah, I think it's an A.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think it's an A as well.
All right, next we got MVP.
So MVP does kind of have a theme. Most of their stuff,
Science, right?
a lot of their what's that?
Well, I guess that's their plastic electron. But
No, electricity, like because like MVP and Axiom are technically different. So like I'm thinking like for instance the Hex
Ion
and the Envy, but yeah, like the Ion, the Anode, the Tesla, the Volt.
Yeah, this is a C. This is a
the
C.
Servo.
This is a C.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think it's that good. I think
Simon's disc names are better.
Yeah.
Well,
they're more of a theme.
What was his driver?
Not the lens cap though. We need to veto the lens cap.
Like time lapse is a great disc name.
Yeah, I think that's a good
lens cap might be one of the
Lens
worst I've ever heard. I never even knew
well,
that
he's
was
trying to
a
make
disc.
them all like camera themed, I think.
Okay, lens cap, one of the worst names I've ever heard for a disc.
No, people are saying the lens cap is going to be a mini. Because I was making fun of it on Grip Locked because I was like, I agreed. I was like, that is so stupid.
Name.
And then, if the lens cap ever comes out and it's not like a novelty,
next one is Thought Space.
Okay, so Thought Space.
I don't even know their names of theirs. What are theirs?
I don't know.
Thought Space to me is kind of out there. I will just I can just read you.
I couldn't tell you one name. I think if you list it off, I'll be like, oh yeah, but
they don't.
I couldn't tell
Proctor
you one
is
name.
kind of like the main guy throwing their stuff. Let me just read off.
Construct. That's one, right?
Construct.
I think so.
Pathfinder, Construct, Praxis, the Mantra, the Muse, the
this is below MVP.
Here? Pathfinder's a great name.
The Vodum, the Numa.
Yeah, just throw a D. Or
I think this is not good. D is the worst. D is the worst.
D is the worst.
Silas is one of those.
Oh, we're right across the board right now.
Silas won't give F's out.
What?
Gotcha.
I didn't make this. That's just how
that's
how the tier list makes it.
That's the default,
you can go over there to that gear and create a new one, I think.
You can.
Yeah, get wrecked. We don't even have an S tier, do we?
Yeah. Nobody's got in the S tier.
You think I can actually see my screen, Silas? Come on.
Silas is our reader.
All right, Innova's next. That one's a little hard to see, I'll admit.
All right, Innova.
So Innova, obviously they have their main like T-Bird, Thunderbird, but then they have Leopards, Destroyers.
They
have a lot of the animal
all over the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have to go. You have to go like Discraft. You just have to go overall.
I got to be honest.
I think they're good.
Rock. That's a great name.
No, they are good. Innova has good ones. I think Innova and Discraft have to be on a pretty similar level because I think they both have like such a big variety. But I don't know that one is
overarching.
No, like they started. They have like small.
There's
themes.
There's a lot of the animals.
They've got a lot of birds, and then also they did like the leopard, cheetah. They did different snakes. They did a sidewinder, the mamba. They also did another
really
bird,
fast
Roadrunner.
Corvette.
Yeah, they did. They started doing some cars as well.
What other cars do they have?
They came out with the Racer recently. I think that's car themed.
That's a terrible name.
They've gone like with some monster themes too. They actually used to have a disc called the Monster, which is pretty sick.
All right, just give them. Yeah, go A. I think next to disc.
I think they're A tier. Yeah.
Racer's a terrible name though.
That is a bad one. That is a
next
bad
is
one.
Prodigy.
Prodigy is D tier. Yeah. Self-explanatory.
D1, so D2, D3, D4.
Discmania also
Discmania is next.
Now, well, I'm willing to give Discmania C tier.
I will say their tour series ones are kind of cool.
Didn't Kevin have some like cool Prodigy ones?
He had like 2
Reverb,
discs.
Distortion.
The Reverb and the Distortion.
Distortion's a great name.
You gonna bump him?
It's
for
an
what
No,
effect.
I'm
it
not
is?
bumping him. I'm not bumping
It's an
him.
I think Discmania obviously is in a similar boat, but like Styles was saying, their signature disc, like they just came out with a gravity bomb.
I think
Like,
Discmania's
that's
got to
sick.
go a little higher. I think you got to go C.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of
Cloud
their
Breaker, isn't that Discmania?
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
their tour.
sick
That's their
name.
tour series stuff, though.
yeah,
That's
their
what we were
tour series
saying.
stuff. They give the
pretty good.
names, even though
Okay,
it's
good.
like the Cloud Breaker is just a
a
DD3,
phenomenal name for a disc.
basically.
Next
Yeah,
is DGA.
Ooh. Okay, Hurricane.
They've got the Hurricane, the
Hypercane,
Rift, the
Quake.
Squall, the Quake. Theirs is like weather themed, a lot of it. So you got the Surf, the Steady,
Surf's a bad name.
the
Steady's a great name.
Aftershock.
Bad name.
What is that? What is that? putter?
Hypercane is a great name.
The Sail,
Sail-
the Tempest.
They're
They actually have pretty good names.
I think
Yeah.
they're kind of in the middle. Who
I
do we
like
have?
I like B.
Yeah,
I
who
like
do we have
B
on
as
B?
well.
I like B.
We have a clash at B right now.
Okay, I think that's all right.
Yeah, I think B is good.
They've got
All
some
right.
good ones and they got some bad ones.
Yeah. Next is Dynamic.
So Dynamic is
Oh,
our criminal
geez.
justice theme. So they've got the Truth, the Justice, the Sheriff, the Captain, the Trespass, the Suspect.
Deputy.
They've got the Warden, the Deputy, the Criminal, the Judge, the Jury. I already said that. The Escape.
The Supreme Court.
They do have the Supreme Plastic,
Supreme
but
Plastic,
not
though.
quite yet. No, like that's
The
like
Bill
their
of
whole, I think
Rights.
they actually have a pretty unique theme.
This one's good.
What do you think of this one, Brodie?
I think overall they probably are number one for like overall because they don't really shy away from it.
No, they've
But-
stayed true. They've stayed true to their theme.
But that being said, the names themselves aren't that great. Majority of them.
No. They
A
definitely
lot of times when you
they stuck to a family and they just went with it.
a lot
Like
of
the
times
ma-
when you stick to a niche, you get boxed in a little bit.
Because like the Truth is a great name for a disc.
Yeah.
The Sheriff is not.
Ooh, I like the Sheriff. I think that's sick. You can see the Sheriff's in town when you pull it out of your bag. But I would agree that like the Warden is not that
But
great.
that's
to
what I'm saying. The Warden,
Yeah.
Sheriff, Copper.
They got the Slammer.
See, the Slammer's a good name.
Yeah.
I like
no, they
the
definitely
Slammer.
have some misses.
Some of them I can't like think of. Like when you say Warden, I think of a Warden. I don't think of a disc.
Well,
I can't
yeah,
I
mean,
can't like
Yeah.
remove myself from it. But when you say Slammer, Slammer, like I think of the disc. I don't think of, oh, he's getting thrown in the Slammer.
Okay.
Does that make sense at all?
Which is the good one? Which do you want?
You want the one that when you say the name, like when you tell me Raptor right now, I don't think of a Ford truck and I don't think of a dinosaur that scared all of us in
So
theaters.
something that's a little less common is what you're saying.
It's just one that like connects. I just think it depends on how well it does. Like if it connects well with the disc, then it will stand out that way.
All right,
Like when
Felon.
you say what?
Oh, they got
Felon.
the Felon too.
Yeah, Felon. That's a great name.
Great one.
Okay.
That's why
So what you're
I thought Pathfinder was a great
It's
name.
either
also.
it's either A or S
You think A
tier.
or- Oh.
I would go A. I don't think I'd go S.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Okay, I'll go
because
A tier.
some of them don't really go, but the theme itself,
Um,
they're definitely the truest to their theme.
Okay,
Outside
we
of
got
like
Gateway
Prodigy.
next.
Next is Gateway.
So Gateway's overarching theme is kind of mystical. I'll start by saying they have the wizard, the magic, the warlock, the element, the spell, that's a lot of where theirs comes
the
from.
Spirit.
The spirit. They also have some other ones that are a little bit different, like the blaze, the blade, the what are
Wait,
some other
what's
ones
the
they've
disc
got?
that Connor likes?
The shaman.
The
That's the
Yeah.
shaman.
Shaman's a great one.
They've got some pretty good names. They've got a fun theme. Like their names very much fit disc golf. Like I definitely get on board with that. But they also don't have a ton of molds.
Yeah, they're smaller.
I'd probably go B
I'd go B.
I'm feeling B as well.
Okay.
I'm feeling B as well. Yeah.
All right, Latitude 64.
Latitude 64 is all over the place. They've got a ton. So
Don't they have like? Is that the? No, that's West Side. The King, Queen, whatever.
yeah, no. Latitude has kind of gone all over the map. Some of their new discs, they're doing that royal line, and a lot of those are themed along the lines of like attributes, like the brave, the trust, the glory, the honor, the rive.
Rive's a great name.
They also have the faith, the savior, I think I just named like the entire royal line.
What's some of their older stuff?
They've got the saint, the diamond. They have their whole easy to throw line, which is the diamond, the sapphire, and the ruby. Then they have the pure, which is one of the all times.
Pure is a great name.
That's a great one. They've got the pure, the keystone.
Keystone's a great name.
They have
Keystone's a great name
for a disc.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. For a disc, I think it makes sense. I like it.
No,
when
I don't like that
Keystone,
name.
What do you think of?
I don't think of anything. I don't know.
Keystone
I mean,
State,
I guess I think of the
Pennsylvania,
disc
baby.
because that's the only thing I know. That's Keystone.
There you go. Got him.
But I think that's good. I don't think when
They've
you
also-
hear a
It's a
name,
weird. I think it's a
You
weird
They've also
name.
got the fuse.
That's an outlier. The Fuse.
Yeah, that's a mid range.
to me, they're almost like sitting in between the B and the A.
Yeah, I think they've got some pretty good ones. I would be willing to say that they're also on the A tier. They've got the Havoc, the River, the Flow.
Maybe what I'm thinking is maybe we move Discraft and Innova up to S, and then move them up with Dynamic to A.
I think you might be
I
in
like
the right
that.
We
place.
like
there.
that. We like.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
feel like now we're starting to have too many.
No,
in
we had
A
to-
that
we
they
had to
don't
figure it out.
separate. Okay.
Yeah, we had to figure it out.
I'm liking
Okay.
this right now so far.
Yeah, this is good.
Last one's West Side.
So West Side has, like Salas mentioned, the king, the queen. Then they also have the maiden, the swan, the pine, the bear. Love that one. They've got the harp.
Harp's a great one.
Yeah, they. Gosh, I'm testing my.
Oh,
my
you know,
knowledge
it's
here.
one that we didn't even
The
say.
hatchet.
One that we didn't even say for Latitude that's really good is the Justice.
That would be dynamic.
Dynamic. Sorry. That's what
Yeah,
I meant.
Justice is a very good one.
This feels
West
like
Side has a
B.
small but good theme.
This feels like B.
Yeah, I'm okay with B.
Okay.
And we have a nice uniform tier list.
Yeah, it's
here.
a middle finger.
Look at this thing. Very uniform.
Okay. So did we want to
Discraft and
talk
Innova.
over? Did we miss anything else? Did we miss any?
I mean,
Not neat. I mean, those are the
Lone
big ones.
Star.
Yeah, I didn't throw like every last one in there. Lone Star probably was the one that I omitted.
Is that like the
I
next
don't-
biggest?
Lone Stars is decent. Like they probably have been pretty middle of the road for me. They've got like
What do they
the
have? The
Warbird.
Tumbleweed.
the tumbleweed, the curl.
And then you would just, the other ones would just be
armadillo.
like the individual players.
What other players? I mean, you really just have Simon, Paul, and that's it.
I've got enough out there that you could throw me in the mix. But mine aren't actual discs, I guess. Mine are more stamps.
You don't have. Yeah, yours aren't molds.
That wouldn't count. Never mind.
Yeah, so really the only one with a super sophisticated.
Paige has enough.
That's true.
She's got a couple.
What does she have? The
Well, yeah,
passion, the
we
fierce,
could talk- I'd say hers is passion, drive, fierce,
drive. Yeah.
and that's it. She's got 3.
She only has 3?
Yeah, the passion, the drive, and the
think so.
fierce. Right? I don't
Yeah.
think I'm missing any that are like actually specifically
That
hers.
are, yeah.
I thought she
Which I feel like those are like
that's crazy. I thought she had more
fine.
than
Yeah.
that. Huh. Yeah, I guess there's not enough players that have enough
Yeah.
of them.
It's more people are doing it. It's a list for another day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what do you think about this tier list, and also if Let us know if there's any other tier lists that you want us to do that you think would be interesting. We could do specific disc names if we would have to like maybe have people submit ones for us to throw in there because there's so many to choose from. But obviously, it would be pretty fun to like go disc by disc.
Yeah,
Keystone's still trash.
I think people
Keystone D tier.
I think people would also want to see like tournaments. I think that would be a good tier list.
Like the one we did on Grip Locked?
Probably. But
yeah, we got yelled at
with my input.
We got yelled
Yeah, you guys
at
don't watch
for
disc golf.
Absolutely yelled at. If we can't recall a tournament within 2 seconds that happened in March, don't watch disc golf. Never saw it. Yeah. Anyways. All right. That's all we got for this week's show. A little bit different, obviously. Although I feel like the offseason this year has kind of been different almost every episode. But next week, Hunter will be back. We'll be back to doing Guess That Rating. Guess the Rating. I think we're also potentially going to be doing video form.
Yes.
Next week, which should be a really good time. We'll also have to bring back the silhouette game because that was pretty fun and very tricky. Make sure to click the link in the description and submit any stories and topics. We didn't have a ton last week, so make sure to hop in there. Any topics and stories you have, we'd love to read them on the show. And we'll be back next week.
Another good game that I think we played with you, Trevor, maybe at one point.
Guess the Course?
Guess the Course. Also a great game.
That would be a good one to bring back. I did surprisingly better at that than I thought I would the one time we played that. Yeah. Lots of games in store. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.